There is a moment when everything begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Not with noise, not with fireworks, but with a calm inner shift. What you are about to receive does not need announcements, explanations, or proof. The most powerful transformations happen in silence, when your soul already knows what is coming. You are standing at the edge of a new chapter, whether you realize it or not. A new house is forming for you, not just in bricks and walls, but in the feeling of belonging. A new partner is aligning with you, not as a coincidence, but as a reflection of who you have become. And a new life is unfolding, not someday, but now, the moment you accept it inwardly. Yet the key that protects all of this is quiet confidence. Not secrecy born of fear, but silence born of certainty. Most people speak too early. They announce seeds before they root. They explain dreams before they mature. They seek validation for visions that were never meant to be debated. When you truly know something is yours, you don't argue for it. You don't convince anyone. You move silently, calmly, and steadily, allowing reality to catch up with your inner knowing. A new house begins as a feeling long before it becomes a place. It starts with the sense of safety when you close your eyes. It begins when your body relaxes, as if you already belong somewhere beautiful and stable. When you live from that inner place, the outer world rearranges to match it. Opportunities appear, doors open, paths align. But the moment you start talking too much about it, you divide your energy. You leak certainty. Silence protects alignment. A new partner arrives the same way, not through chasing, forcing, or explaining your worth, but through embodiment. When you feel chosen within, respected within, loved within, you stop seeking confirmation outside. That inner shift becomes magnetic. The right person doesn't need convincing. They recognize the calm authority in your presence. They feel the emotional safety you carry. And without effort, you become unforgettable. Silence here is not withdrawal. It is strength. It is knowing that what is meant for you moves toward you naturally. When you stop narrating your desires to people who do not carry your vision, you stop planting doubt in your own subconscious. Your inner world becomes clean, focused, and powerful. From that space, creation flows easily. A new life is not created by changing everything at once. It is created by changing the state from which you live. When your inner dialogue shifts from hoping to knowing, from wishing to assuming, life responds immediately. You walk differently. You breathe differently. You react differently. Even before anything changes outside, you feel ahead of your circumstances. People will notice something about you before they understand it. Your calm will confuse them. Your patience will unsettle them. Your lack of explanation will make them curious. That is when you know you are aligned. When you no longer feel the urge to prove where you're going. It means you are already there internally. Staying quiet does not mean you stop dreaming. It means you stop defending your dreams. It means you allow them to grow undisturbed. Just like a seed beneath the soil, your manifestations require darkness, stillness, and time. Digging them up to check progress only delays growth. Trust is the discipline of not interfering. When you imagine your new house, don't imagine the struggle. Imagine the peace. Imagine waking up there. Imagine the calm evenings, the safety, the sense of I am home. Let that feeling be normal to you. Normality is powerful. What feels normal must appear. When you imagine your new partner, don't imagine effort. Imagine ease. Imagine mutual respect, quiet moments, shared laughter, emotional stability. Let that feeling be natural. When love feels natural internally, it becomes inevitable externally. Your new life begins the moment your inner reactions change. When old triggers lose their power. When things that once upset you no longer disturb your peace. When you stop chasing outcomes and start living as if they are guaranteed. That is the turning point most people miss. Silence also sharpens intuition. When you stop explaining yourself to the world, you start hearing your inner guidance clearly. You begin to know when to move and when to wait. You sense which paths are aligned and which are distractions. This inner clarity saves years of effort. There will be moments when you want to speak, when excitement overflows, when you want reassurance, when doubt tries to pull you back into old habits. In those moments, choose silence. Not suppression, but composure. Let your certainty settle deeper, instead of seeking comfort in words. Your environment will test you. Some people will question you. Others will underestimate you. Let them. Their perception is irrelevant to your creation. Energy follows attention, and your attention belongs on your inner alignment, not external opinions. The quiet phase is always misunderstood, but it is also always powerful. Every major transformation passes through a silent corridor, where the old identity dissolves and the new one stabilizes. This is where you are now, between what was and what will be. You don't need to convince life that you deserve more. Life responds to who you believe you are. When your self-concept shifts, everything else follows automatically. This is not effort. This is alignment. A new house responds to the feeling of stability. A new partner responds to the feeling of worthiness. A new life responds to the feeling of inevitability. These are not external goals. They are internal states. Stay quiet when things start aligning. Stay grounded when signs appear. Stay composed when opportunities knock. Acting impressed signals disbelief. Acting calm signals expectation. Expectation is creation. One day people will look at your life and wonder how it happened so smoothly. They will say you were lucky. They will say it came suddenly. They won't see the silent work you did within yourself, and you won't need to explain it. Your power is not in loud declarations. Your power is in quiet assumption. Walk as if what you desire is already secured. Speak less. Observe more. Feel deeply. Trust completely. This is how new houses appear without struggle. This is how new partners arrive without chasing. This is how new lives unfold without force. Remain silent, not because you are unsure, but because you are certain. Remain calm, not because you are waiting, but because you know. Remain grounded, because what is meant for you is already on its way. And when it arrives, when the keys are in your hand, when love stands in front of you, when life finally mirrors your inner peace, you'll understand why silence was necessary. Because the greatest transformations are born in stillness, protected by faith, and revealed only when they are complete. What you have truly accepted within yourself no longer asks for permission from the outside world. When something feels settled inside your heart, it stops needing applause, agreement, or reassurance. Inner acceptance carries a quiet authority. It does not rush. It does not beg. It simply is. The moment you feel something as already yours, your energy relaxes, and that relaxation signals completion. You are no longer trying to convince life. You are calmly allowing it. This inner knowing removes desperation and replaces it with grounded certainty. When belief becomes internalized, it does not seek witnesses. It moves silently, confidently, shaping circumstances without effort. This is why the deepest transformations often happen unnoticed. They do not announce themselves, they unfold naturally. When your inner world is aligned, the outer world follows without resistance. Acceptance within is the final step before appearance outside. It is the moment where desire turns into inevitability. Silence then becomes natural, not forced, because nothing feels unfinished anymore. Silence is not emptiness. It is strength gathering itself. When you remain quiet about what you are creating, you protect it from interference, doubt, and external opinions. Every time you speak prematurely, you invite reactions that may not align with your inner truth. Silence allows belief to deepen without interruption. It gives your subconscious space to stabilize the assumption that what you desire is already real. In quietness, your confidence grows roots. This is not hiding. It is safeguarding. Just as a seed grows best underground, your vision matures when left undisturbed. Silence also refines focus. Without unnecessary conversation, your mind stops oscillating between hope and fear. Instead, it settles into calm expectation. This calm is powerful because it signals certainty to life. When you stop explaining your dreams, you stop negotiating with doubt. Silence becomes the shield that guards your inner alignment until the moment reality reflects it back to you effortlessly. A house is more than walls. It is an emotional state. Long before keys touch your hands, the feeling of belonging must settle into your body. When you internally live from a sense of stability, safety, and ownership, life begins arranging circumstances to match that state. This inner feeling influences decisions, opportunities, and timing without conscious effort. You start noticing possibilities you once overlooked. You move differently, choose differently, and respond differently. The idea of someday disappears and is replaced by quiet expectation. When feeling at home becomes natural within, the external structure has no choice but to follow. Struggle ends where certainty begins. You are not chasing a place. You are embodying the feeling of being rooted. That embodiment reshapes reality. The house appears not as a miracle, but as a logical outcome of your inner alignment. What feels normal inside eventually becomes unavoidable outside. Love does not arrive through effort. It arrives through resonance. When love feels safe, calm, and familiar within you, it no longer needs to be pursued externally. The moment you stop proving your worth, you begin attracting recognition naturally. Inner emotional fulfillment removes urgency, and urgency is what blocks genuine connection. When you feel chosen internally, you stop chasing attention. Your presence becomes grounded, warm, and emotionally secure. This state is magnetic because it carries no neediness. The right partner responds to this energy effortlessly. Conversations flow. Respect is natural. Connection feels easy. Love begins to mirror the way you treat yourself internally. When affection and stability are assumed within, relationships form without struggle. This inner shift changes what you tolerate, what you accept, and what you attract. Love finds you when it no longer feels unfamiliar. When it feels like home inside, it appears outside as a natural extension of who you are becoming. True confidence does not announce itself. It is felt. Quiet confidence speaks through calm behavior, grounded choices, and emotional stability. It does not rush outcomes or demand recognition. Loud desire often carries anxiety, while quiet certainty carries trust. When you know something is yours, you don't need to advertise it. Your energy becomes relaxed yet purposeful. People sense this without explanation. Quiet confidence attracts because it feels safe, stable, and secure. It communicates self-belief without words. Life responds to this energy more powerfully than to effort or force. The absence of urgency signals completion. When you are no longer desperate for outcomes, outcomes begin approaching you. This calm expectation removes resistance. It allows things to unfold naturally rather than be forced prematurely. Quiet confidence is not passive. It is deeply rooted belief expressed through stillness. This stillness becomes the most attractive and creative force you can embody. Speaking before something is stabilized within you often weakens it. Words carry energy, and when spoken from uncertainty, they divide focus. Each explanation invites external opinions that can seed doubt. When you talk too early, you unconsciously shift from certainty to defense. You begin justifying instead of assuming. This weakens alignment. Energy leaks through over-discussion. Silence, on the other hand, preserves momentum. It allows belief to settle deeply without contradiction. When your inner state is firm, words become unnecessary. The subconscious responds better to consistency than conversation. Over-talking introduces mental noise, while quiet repetition of belief strengthens conviction. When you allow your vision to grow without commentary, it matures faster. You stop checking for validation and start trusting the process. This discipline of restraint accelerates manifestation. The less you interfere, the smoother things unfold. Creation works best when you stop micromanaging it with words. Certainty within dissolves the hunger for approval. When you know who you are and what is unfolding for you, external validation loses importance. You stop explaining your choices because they already make sense to you. This inner confidence creates emotional independence. You no longer seek permission to believe in your future. Validation becomes optional rather than necessary. This shift is liberating. It frees mental energy that was once spent on comparison and justification. When you trust yourself, life mirrors that trust back to you. People respond differently. Opportunities align more smoothly. Resistance fades. Inner certainty simplifies everything. Decisions become clearer. Doubt becomes quieter. You act from alignment rather than fear. This self-trust becomes the foundation upon which new realities are built. When you stop looking outward for confirmation, your inner world becomes the authority. And when the inner world leads, the outer world follows with precision. Expectation is trust made visible. When you expect something calmly, without tension or urgency, you signal belief at the deepest level. Calm expectation does not rush time or question outcomes. It rests. This rest is powerful because it removes resistance. When you stop checking for signs and start living as if the outcome is inevitable, reality begins adjusting itself quietly. Calm expectation is not passive waiting. It is active faith. You move through life, assuming alignment rather than hoping for it. This assumption influences behavior, decisions, and perception. You respond instead of react. You allow instead of force. This state communicates certainty to the subconscious, which then directs life accordingly. Calm expectation keeps you grounded, even when nothing seems to be happening. It trusts the unseen process. What you expect consistently becomes familiar, and what becomes familiar must express itself outwardly. Life is not changed through force, but through internal shifts. The moment your inner state changes, your outer reality begins reorganizing. This happens naturally, without strain. When your reactions soften, circumstances soften. When your beliefs upgrade, opportunities follow. You don't chase change, you embody it. Inner shifts are subtle but powerful. They alter how you interpret events, how you respond to challenges, and how you see yourself. These internal adjustments create new patterns. Old cycles dissolve effortlessly. What once felt difficult loses its grip. Life rearranges itself to match your internal identity. This is why true transformation feels smooth rather than dramatic. The world reflects the inner world faithfully. Change does not announce itself loudly, it unfolds logically. When you become someone new inside, life has no option but to treat you accordingly. Every powerful transformation begins unseen. Growth happens in silence, away from attention and interference. This hidden phase is essential because it allows stability to form. What grows too fast, without depth, collapses easily. When change is internalized quietly, it becomes permanent. You may feel different before you look different. You may know before you see. This unseen growth strengthens foundations. It prepares you to sustain what is coming. When manifestation finally appears, it feels natural rather than overwhelming. Others may call it sudden, but you know it was built patiently within. This quiet phase teaches trust. It teaches patience. It teaches alignment. By honoring the unseen work, you allow transformation to mature fully. When it finally becomes visible, it stands strong, effortless, and undeniable, because it was rooted in silence first.